Hey everyone, this is cousin Kitwana. Since my show exists, you have seen a lot of my Lion King figures, collectible figures and action figures, mainly those from 1994 that we all love and remember so much from our childhood. The Mattel figures, and then it was Hasbro who had the license, and then it went over to Just Play when the Lion Guard released in 2015, and then again Just Play did a whole bunch of action figures for the 25th anniversary of the Lion King in 2019. And today I have a premiere, the first ever Disney Store action figure. Now you might be confused because I did show you some Disney Store Lion King figures in the past. For example, this set here, seen in episode number 54, or also got this Disney Store set of Lion King figures. But what's the difference between collectible and action figures? Well, the collectible figures do not have any articulation, and so far the Disney Store has only released collectible figures, like this set for example. Figures without any action features. And now we have the first ever Disney Store Lion King action figure. And it released this year, right this year, in 2021, around in January, and it's part of the Disney Toybox series. Now you may remember the Disney Infinity video game that came with a whole assortment of figures, and they sadly stopped that in 2017, and the Disney Toybox action figures line emerged from the Disney Infinity series of figures. There have been already a few dozen figures in 4 different categories: Disney, Marvel, Pixar and Star Wars. And Simba, Adult Simba and Zazu is number 20 in the Disney series. As I released just this year, brand new item. So it's a super big pleasure for me to look at the very first Disney Store Lion King action figure together with you on this episode of Kitwana's Toys. Here is the box. As you can see, it very nice, attractive window display box that has Simba and Zazu. So it's actually 2 figures. You can see Zazu scales nicely with Simba. The side of the box has a digital image of this Simba figure, probably an early draft of a prototype. Really nice artwork. As you know, I'm so in love with Adult Simba. He has been my favorite ever since 1994 in the Lion King universe. The back shows Simba and Zazu, as well as Sorcerer Mickey, who was number 19 in the Disney series of Toybox figures. That's the one that released right before Simba. And it's got a bunch of legal stuff. You can see that the Disney Store is also already shifting toy production to Vietnam out of China. It's cheaper there. And speaking of the price, this is $12.99 right now at the Disney Store in the US. It's available online on Shop Disney. I'll give you the link in the video description. And I think we are going to unbox this, of course. I have, of course, the second one. We can unbox already prepared it a little bit to make it easier. Here's our two figures again. Now Zazu, looking at Zazu first. He is really tiny. It stands on a base because of that, because otherwise I would not be able to stand. And it's a rather fragile figure, I must say, especially the part where the tail connects to his body. Seems to be rather fragile. I think if you play a lot with it, the tail will eventually break off. I have to say, that's what I fear. It's molded in one piece, basically feels like rubber. Zazu only measures around 1 inch tall. Super tiny. You can see the bottom of the base here, the legal stuff. But as I said, he does scale super nicely with Adult Simba, and that's the point. But be very careful when you play with this figure. This is definitely a display only figure. But the, of course, the paint scheme and the face and everything is very movie accurate, as you would expect from Disney itself. I mean, that's really a big advantage if you have access to the all of the character sheets and animation models and everything in-house. That's what no other toy company has. So that's why the Disney Store toys are usually the most accurate, movie accurate, screen accurate Disney toys that you can find. And that is true for the Simba action figure as well. Wow, look at this. This is, I can already say, the best Lion King action figure that has been made so far, since 1994. Since the Mattel figures that we all loved so much during our childhood. I would even say this surpasses the classic Mattel figures. Sorry, Zazu. Gotta move you away for a little bit. I'd like to present Simba on my Pride Rock playset, which you know from episode number 81, my 1994 Mattel Lion King Pride Rock playset. If you do not know this classic toy yet, please watch episode number 81. I'll give you a detailed presentation on it. And I said I want to present Simba from atop Pride Rock, because that's where he belongs as the rightful Lion King. And look at that, how this figure displays wonderfully at the only place in the Pride Lands where he really belongs. Now look at that face. Very movie accurate, I would say. The only thing I don't really like is they should have painted a black line along his mouth. That's a detail that is missing. And another issue that I have is, take a look at his right hand eye. Now looks a bit off. It looks off to the right hand side a bit too far. Compare it with the left one, it looks a little bit weird. But when you look at it from the side, of course, you do not notice. The face is still very cute, super handsome. That's why I love Adult Simba so much. That's why he has become my favorite. One of my favorites in the Lion King universe. It doesn't have any whiskers either, but look at the eyes. These are very, very movie accurate. It's almost like the whole face is a 3D scan from an animation maquette or something, which they probably really did in-house at Disney to create this action figure. You can see his ear sticking out. The mane has an accurate color. And it's really very detailed, lots of structure. That takes a long time to create a digital mold of such an action figure. I had the chance to see this process when I was at Mattel for a backstage visit at their design center. This is highly fascinating, by the way. And you can see body and his feet and legs with all the joints, and his tail. So this figure looks really good. It measures around 12 by 12 centimeters. That's about 4 inches, I think, if I convert this correctly. A similar size to compared with the other earlier action figures. We will look at it later. We will compare it. You can see lighter colors for the paws. And the yellow is also very accurate, and the tail tuft has the same color like the mane. So we want to look at it from all sides, of course. The right hand side. And now we want to see the points of articulation, and there's a lot of them. How can we play with this figure? In the legs and feet alone, there are 4 points of articulation, so we can make this a running Simba, for example. Like this, he's running across the Pride Lands. Wow, this is amazing. Especially, I like how well he goes together with this classic playset from almost 30 years ago. Brand new figure. We can also make him sit. He does have the joint in his main body as well. I can make him sit like that, and show it on top of the hard rock. Here, we can make him sit like that. And he actually fits perfectly, better than every Mattel or Just Play action figure ever did. That's really cool. Or we can try recreating his ascent on Pride Rock. Put him on his real legs, and then the front legs we can pose like this and pretend he is ascending Pride Rock. Actually, one of my very favorite Lion King scenes. The very end of the movie, because it's so emotional, and Simba finally claims his rightful place. That's really cool, this figure. How flexible and posable this figure is. There are a total of 19 points of articulation. As I said, 4 on each leg. Then you can also pose its head back and forth. You can look to the left, look to the right. The tail is poseable as well, but it does drag on the ground if you lower it all the way. And then we have, as said, that point in the middle of the body. This is super awesome. His mouth does not open. No articulation in the face, it's just that his head can move to the left and right. No paw pads or anything, it's just the only detail is that the paws are painted in a lighter color. And his underbelly as well. You can see like this. No real details. He doesn't have whiskers either. Mattel did the whiskers back in 1994. So we want to see how he compares to the classic figures, and I've got two of them here, and I'll line them up next to each other. We have the 1994 Adult Simba from Mattel. Then we've got the Just Play Adult Simba that was released for the first time in 2015 for the Lion Guard, and then again in 2019 for the 25th anniversary of the animated classic. And then we have our 2021 Disney Store Toybox Adult Simba from the left to the right. You can compare the faces. You can see the Mattel Simba has a mouth that opens and closes. As you can press the button on his mane, and that makes his front legs kick, and mouth opens and closes. You can see the whiskers. The eyes are very nice as well. I would say for 1994, when there wasn't a lot of 3D technology around, this is a fantastic looking figure. And in the middle we have the Just Play Simba. You can see this is definitely bulkier. It makes a cheaper appearance. But I like he has the mouth actually painted with a black line, so that gives him a bit of a friendly character. And then we have the Disney Store Simba. You can see they do scale up nicely. And looking at them from the front, you can see actually the only figure that doesn't really fit is indeed Just Play's Simba, which was expected, but still it is disappointing that Just Play did not properly scale their figures. You can see it's much bulkier, and the yellow also looks a bit too bright and too cheap. But the Mattel Simba goes together nicely with the Disney Store one. As said, they are around 4 inches. And because the Disney Store Simba poses so nicely, he actually stands or sits very well on top of here, unlike the Just Play one, which isn't that posable at all. It's kind of big. It looks weird. It even falls off. Pride Rock. Scar would like that. The figure that's actually supposed to go with this playset back in 1994 is a little bit better, but still, at least one of his legs is always up in the air when you place him on top of Pride Rock. Unfortunate. So if you're a Lion King fan, this is definitely a must-have. I doubt there will be more Lion King action figures in the Toybox line, but of course would be nice if Disney would create more Lion King characters, probably for the 30th anniversary or so. I mean, they started with a great looking Adult Simba, and how cool would it be if we have a scar like that? I mean, a scar with 19 points of articulation, that would go together very well with this Simba. And so, Simba ascends back for a final time in this episode. I'll give you the bottom line. What we have here is the best Lion King action figure that was ever made. It's as simple as that. We have a figure that's 4 inches in size, has 19 points of articulation, a highly adorable face, very movie accurate, and it also goes very well with the older Lion King playsets and figures. So this offers a lot of playtime and collectible fun and is a must-have for every Lion King fan. Nothing more to add. So that was it for this episode of Kitwana's Toys with a brand new toy, and of course stay tuned for more Lion King toys from the past 3 decades. And until I'm back next weekend, I say goodbye.